Hey, it's the preacher, and I want to do a little video about on the reloading bench today about lubing, case lubing your brass. If you're reloading pistol ammo, many of you already know this, but I'll just cover it for those that don't. If you're reloading pistol ammo, because it's straight wall dies, you do not have to use a case lube if you use a carbide die. But what happens with most rifle ammo is you have a neck, you have a shoulder, and you have a tapered wall. And so what happens is you're pressing this brass back into its original dimensions because it's expanded when the powder went off. What happens is you run that up in the die without lube on it, it wants to stick in the die. So you have to lube it some way to prevent your case from getting stuck up in your reloading die. Now, the way I do it is the old school way. And we were talking the other night in I think it might have been a Georgia Shooting Connection chat or Uncle Jim's chat. Somebody where we were talking and people were discussing what they were using for dye. I mean, what they were using for lube and making their own lube and getting cases stuck and putting too much and not enough. And I said I still do it on the pad, and they were like, oh, nobody does that anymore, that's old, you need to get with the crowd. Well, here's why I do it my way. I've never had a case stuck, not once. Now, I'm not saying that I couldn't have a case stuck, but if I get a case stuck, it's because of operator error on my part. I forgot to lube brass and put in there. But if you're doing it properly, you can actually skip every couple of pieces of brass and not lube it. And that just ensures that you're not getting too much lube in there. You can even have enough on your fingers so that when you pick up a case and put it in there, you don't have to roll it on a pad. So the point I'm making is this. This may be older, it may be slower, it may not be popular, but this has a much more higher success rate of not ever getting one of these stuck in there. And so what I'm going to do is show you my process. Y'all can laugh at me, you can call me old-fashioned, you can say I'm out of date and I'm out of touch, but I can tell you this much, I never have brass stuck in my die. So come along, I'll show you a way that works. And then you can do your modern experimental stuff with lanolin, kerosene, and all the other wacky stuff, okay? So let me show you how the preacher does it. Okay, let's show you the process here. All I've done with this 223 brass is I picked it up at the range. I know it was new when we shot it, but it laid in the dirt. Some of it laid there for a couple weeks. I went back and found some more. So it was pretty dirty. So I ran it through the Universal decapping die by Lee, and then I ran it through a Harbor Freight tumbler. Took 2 batches, so I think I've got around 200. Anyways, so it's been deprimed and it's been washed, and so now that it's clean, I'm ready to run it through my sizing die. I used to, and I still do, if it's not bad dirty, I'll run it through my sizing die. Then when I tumble it or put it in corncob grit or in a wet tumble, whatever I do, it will also get the case lube off for me. So anyways, I've got it clean. Now here's what you will have. You will have a case lube pad. Looks something like this. A case lube pad. And I've used this one ever since I've been reloading. It gets real bad, I flip it over and use the other side. And I think I've turned this one over once already. And then you can just buy replacement pads in here. So you will also need some RCBS case lube too. It doesn't take much. Matter of fact, I've done that many with just the lube that was in the pad from the last time I used it, which was 2 or 3 months ago. You're just going to run one kind of stringy little bead down through here, okay? And then right here, we're going to do another bead. And when I say a bead, I'll bring you over here and let you take a look. It's not a lot. It's just one little dab. That's all it takes. Matter of fact, that's probably enough to do it all. Now we'll take our finger. Some of you are like, I know how to do this. I know, but you quit doing it because you got your fingers dirty or something. All right. Now we've just smeared that out. There's very little on there. And here's the way I do it. I lay the brass on there just like this, making sure that I keep this shoulder off the pad. I let them hang over. If you get too much lube right there on those shoulders, if you get too much lube, you'll get dents on those shoulders. Until my hand just about covers them. I don't know if you can see that. But now when I'm rolling these, none of the shoulders are in the lube. See, all the shoulders are off the edge. And I'm turning them all at the same time, and I'm getting them all lubed together. Now, using this same left hand, this is going to be my case handling hand. I pick these things up, sometimes I smooth it around. Now I'm going to stick the case neck. You can see where I've done this about 1,000,000 times before. That's all you need. See that little bead of lube that's right on the neck? That's all I need. Now I'll put this in my I change hands because this is my clean hand. I don't handle the lube with it. I run this up in there. That went right up in there. Now we bring it out and we take a look, and it's been sized and it's not dented. There's a little bit of lube on it. Throw it in our case. Now I could grab another one of these, but that had a lot of lube on it. So instead I'm going to reach over here and grab one that I haven't lubed on the pad. See how my hands have a little case lube on them? Touch it. Switch your hands. I'm trying to hold this camera. That slid right in and right out. No problem. No dents on the shoulders. Everything's fully sized. There's enough on there. I could probably do that again. I still have some on my fingers, so I'll just take what's on my fingers and wipe it on this brass. Dab it. Doesn't take much. See? Just a little dab will do you. It's kind of like Braille cream. Just a little dab will do you. Okay. There we go. That still felt pretty slick, so I've still got some on my hands. Little dab of on the end. Let's see what happens. Still slid right in and right out. No denting on the case neck of the shoulder. Now that we've done about 3 of them, I'll go back and grab one of these that I've rolled, which has, I wouldn't say a lot of lube. Well, I wouldn't say like too much, but it's well lubed. I won't put any more case lube on there for these 200 brass. I had some that was left over from the last time. I did maybe 30 or 40 with it. And then I added some, and when you add it, that first time you roll them, after you add the bead on there and smooth it out, they'll be pretty greasy. And then after that, you know, you may do 1 off the pad, 2 off the pan. And you just kind of go, when they start feeling tight and they start feeling like they're maybe starting to catch, just go ahead and stick a lubed one back up in there. This back and forth keeps from denting the shoulders, and it also ensures that you've got plenty of lube in your die so that you don't ever get brass stuck. I've never stuck brass. Now, I'm not saying that I can't. It's impossible, but this works. Everybody I know that uses spray lube in a Ziploc baggie or rolls them around in a pan, every one of those guys have given me, what do you use to pull your cases with? I've never had to pull any. So yeah, my left hand gets greasy, but I don't know about y'all. I keep soap around the sink, so I go in there and wash my hands. Anyways, I've got plenty of brass to do. I need to get all these sized. I need to get them wiped down. I need to get them trimmed, chamfered, deburred, get the crimp out of the primer, clean and uniform the primer pocket, and then I'll be ready. I'll have about 200 cases ready to load for some backyard plinkers. So thank you guys for watching. I hope this tells you the way I lube cases for reloading, and maybe if you're having trouble with what you're doing, maybe you can try this. I'm not rolling each individual one. These are 223. Hey, if these were 300 Weatherby, probably would roll each one. Now, you do what works for you. If that don't work for you, do what you want to do. Whatever you have confidence in, that's probably what you ought to do. But I have confidence this way because I've never got a case stuck. Just from hearing people talk that use the spray lube, you get a case that doesn't have any lube on it. Maybe it didn't come in contact with the lube when they shook it up, and the others are so lightly lubed that there is no leftover lube in the dye. Whereas I'm controlling whether I'm putting a dry bullet in there, a dry case in there, or a very well lubed case in there. I'm controlling that every time. As you're reaching into a bag that you've just randomly mixed, you don't have that kind of control. So I think that's one of the benefits of running things on a pad like I do. So anyways, it's the way I do it. I'm not saying it's right for everybody. I'm not saying that it's wrong, but here's what I will say. It's tried and true. It's the old way of doing it, and it used to work for our forefathers. So I bet it'll work for us. Still works. Thank you guys for watching.